Hi, my name is Samantha Christine Selleck. I was born in Louisiana. My birthday is 12/21/1988, and this channel is about my life. Right now I currently live in Waycross, Georgia, which is a very small town. It's actually big, but the town itself is small. But I guess I'm going to make this channel just to show you what life is, and I guess what everybody deals with a lot every day, that they think, oh, my life is perfect, or oh, I feel like my life is such a chaotic mess and I'm the only one feeling this way, when I'm sure there's thousands of you who feel like I do every day. And I'd like to know that there's comfort in knowing that there's other people who live like us, that are like us, and that life is a struggle in itself. So, not to get discouraged, but to keep pushing forward. I have 3 kids, and I will give you a tour of the house that I'm living in right now. I'm living with my cousin Jonathan and his wife Erica. Currently, only 2 of my children are living with me. My middle child is with his dad. I had some health issues this last year. I had something called SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. And basically, what that is the electricity inside of your heart gets stuck and loops around in one of your nodes. And so mine was doing that, and my heart rate was getting up to like 250 once a day. And a lot of the medications that they would put people on for this, I could not take because I have really low blood pressure, and it messes with your blood pressure and it would bottom me out. So I couldn't take that. So they had one medication that they did have me on, but it was making my attacks worse. I had the ambulance out here every day. And a big shout out to Dalton and to Nicole, because they were pretty much the ones that were coming out here every day and rescuing me. But they would come out and they would hook me up to a defibrillator, and they would push something called adenosine inside of an IV. And what that does is it comes through to your heart, and once it hits your heart, it stops it from anywhere between 3 to 6 seconds. And that's why they have to have the defibrillator on you, because if your heart does not restart, then they have to shock you. Thankfully, that never happened to me, but it did stop it, and my heart rate would go down to like 180, and then slowly over about 20-30 minutes it would get back down into the 80s. With this continuously happening, I was constantly in the hospital. And due to that, I actually wound up losing my job, which I am an LPN, and I was working at a nursing facility, but because of me having these attacks so much and having to be in the hospital so much and me not being able to be at work, they did fire me, which then led to a lot of other problems. But it did wind up helping, because with me not making the income that I was making, I was able to apply for Medicaid. And I went through a lot with them to finally get it approved, but I went ahead and had a cardiac ablation done, which is pretty much, they took me in, they kept me in a twilight zone, so I was waking up during the procedure, but they took a burning tool, and put it through my leg and pretty much cathetered it up to my heart. And then they sent me into an attack and got my heart rate over 250, and then found out which AV node was circling that electricity, and then they burned it so that way it could never cause attack for me again. And I had that done in January. In January, after that, I have not had any more attacks. Now, they do tell me you're going to feel palpitations, which is kind of like your heart like jumps real quick. And it's almost like a double take, because I'll feel it in my chest and then I'll feel it in my throat. And so, and I feel a lot after I eat. especially if I try to eat a big meal, you know, like lunch and dinner. Dinner, especially, because if you know the South, dinner's like 3-course meals. So, eating like that really sends me into attacks, and I have a hard time with them at night. They say that, oh, you'll get used to it. That's what the doctors tell me. Yeah, I will probably never get used to that feeling because it is very scary, which has also, in return, has caused me to have a lot of anxiety. And I've kind of dealt with anxiety a lot throughout my life, which, I mean, we'll get more into that later, but it has heightened since all of this. But I guess I'll go ahead and give you a tour right now of the house that I'm living in. And there are currently 3 families that live together. So it's me and my boyfriend, Lee, and then my cousin Jonathan and Erica and their kids. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze, you know, summer's here, pollen. And then my kids, and like I said, one of my kids is living with his father in Atlanta, and he's a really good daddy, but he has been with him so that way I could go through the heart surgery and adapt. And then plus we have so many people here that until I get into my own place, it's just one less kid, I guess. But I do get him from time to time. But now on that subject, I have bought a trailer here in Waycross. I had bought it. It was a repossessed trailer, and I bought it. Well, I'm still making payments on it, but it is like it's a single wide, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, which is perfect for me and the kids. And you know, $3,000. Like, who could beat that and not have to pay rent eventually no more? My payments are $100 a month until I get it paid off. And I was like, you know, I jumped on it. I was like, there's no way. It wound up being something that was way bigger than me than I thought it was going to be. But I know in the end it's going to be worth it. It's just been very stressful. So until then, I'm living here with my cousin. And then there is someone else that lives here. His name's Pookie. He doesn't have no kids, but he is Erica's cousin. So, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a tour of the place. Let me turn the camera around, if it'll let me. See if I can figure it out.